Hi everyone, it's Library Linda, and I'd like to welcome you to this week's edition of Did You Know? Did you know that March 14th is known as Pi Day? Pi is a mathematical term for the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter, 3.14. Archimedes, who was considered the greatest mathematician of ancient history, is the first one to calculate pi. But it was Larry Shaw, physicist at the San Francisco Exploratorium, that created Pi Day. March 14th also happens to be Albert Einstein's birthday. He was the Nobel Prize-winning theoretical physicist, best known for his theory of relativity. Did you know on March 15th of 1892, the first escalator was patented by Jesse Wilford Reno, and he called it an inclined elevator. This was first demonstrated at Coney Island and then moved to the Manhattan entrance of the Brooklyn Bridge. It was originally part of his design proposal to build an underground subway in New York City. Did you know on March 15th of 1968, construction began on the Eisenhower Johnson Memorial Tunnel? The westbound or northern tunnel was named after President Eisenhower and completed in 1973. The southern or eastbound tunnel was named after Colorado Governor Edwin Johnson and wasn't completed until 1979. This was part of the first interstate highway system that connected Utah to Baltimore via Interstate 70. The tunnel crossed the Continental Divide as it went through the Rocky Mountains. The northern tunnel ended up being 1.693 miles in length, and the southern tunnel ended up being 1.697 miles in length. Did you know on March 16th of 1802, President Thomas Jefferson signed legislation to establish a U.S. military academy to train officers for the military? This became known as West Point, as it was on the west bank of the Hudson River, at a bend where there were 3 Revolutionary War forts and several batteries that were used to defend against the British. In 1780, General Benedict Arnold, who was commander of one of these forts, had agreed to surrender to the British military in exchange for 6,000 pounds. His plot was foiled. After this treasonous event, it became fitting that West Point become one of the most respected military academies in the world. Did you know March 16th of 1957 was the premiere of the Gumby Show? Gumby and his horse Pokey were created in 1956 by Art Clokey. Gumby and Pokey were first seen on the Howdy Doody Show, filmed using a technique called claymation, until they got their own spin-off called The Gumby Show. Did you know that spring officially arrives with the vernal equinox that happens this year on March 20th at exactly 5:37 a.m.? Vernal equinox, translated from Latin, means new equal nights. Did you know that the Earth rotates around the Sun at a constant 23.5-degree angle on its axis? This angle and constant rotation around the Sun is what causes us to have seasons. When the Sun's direct rays cross over the celestial equator, going north towards the Tropic of Cancer, it becomes spring in the northern hemisphere and fall in the southern hemisphere. A lot of ancient civilizations aligned their buildings and structures and temples according to where the sun was during the solstices and the equinoxes. Like the Angkor Wat in Cambodia, that perfectly aligns the sunrise with the center tower, and the Incan Intihuatanas in Machu Picchu, and the Mayan ruins Chichen Itza in Mexico, or how the Moai on Easter Island stare at the sunset on the night of the vernal equinox. Thank you for watching this week's edition of Did You Know? And I hope to see you again next week. Bye-bye.